We're going to be reading this article real quick before we get started. This is from Mr. Paul Tassi right here, guys. Reports, nothing adds up with Bungie's budgets as pressure mounts on Destiny 2's The Final Shape. In the wake of significant Marathon news revealed by both an IGN article and a tweet from the game's new director trying to get ahead of the IGN article, there's additional news about the state of Bungie and Destiny 2 as a whole. And as it has the last few times we've gotten reports like this, things are sounding especially bleak. The article by Rebecca Valentine should be read in full here. The most important worrisome bits are below. Breaking news to the already on-edge community and already on-edge workers at Bungie. There are fears that there will be further layoffs past the 100+ cuts that already happened last fall in the wake of The Final Shape. Someone with knowledge of budgets at Bungie says that nothing adds up. Oh, that's a terrible statement. And there is an immense amount of pressure on The Final Shape to deliver and fill the gap to Marathon. And then, of course, Marathon itself needs to be a hit. Nothing is mentioned about the longer-term plan for Destiny past episodes already announced. I'll note that it is pretty unusual for someone this high up with that much knowledge of Bungie's financial to talk for an article like this. Now, Bungie has had struggles with Matter, a previously conceived incubation game that was canceled in 2020, then revived, then canceled again in 2022. Again, that kind of lines up with our sources. They're still making a game codenamed Gummy Bears, but that's on pause due to everything happening at the company. Now, Bungie's much derided leadership is reportedly likely going to leave in the summer of 2026 once Sony's final payouts from the acquisition come in. It's unclear whether this may be the moment that Sony takes over to run the company as previously rumored. The current bosses allegedly want to get Marathon out the door and leave it to someone else to sustain it from there. This aligns with a long-running pattern of poor behavior from Bungie bosses who have frequently been the target of ire from players, Bungie devs, and even Sony, who is displeased with how things have been going. So, can someone explain this right here to me? Bungie's leadership is reportedly likely going to leave in the summer of 2026 once Sony's final payouts from the acquisition come in. And then right here, the current bosses allegedly want to get Marathon out the door and leave it to someone else to sustain from there. So the rush is to get Marathon out the door and then just to bounce? But why get Marathon out the door? If you're going to bounce in 2026, does it matter whether or not Marathon comes out? Oh, bonuses and residuals. I gotta wonder, just reading this, like, what is it that Sony wants? I feel like Sony's, their intentions are very clear. They just want their investment of $3.6 billion to be a worthy investment. I'm curious to know why Bungie's leadership is ready to just bounce right after 2026, and go where? Where would they go? I mean, I'm just not saying that they can't be picked up from other development studios, but a lot of leadership has been there, and a lot of devs have been there at Bungie for 2-3 decades. Cancun, beach homes. Oh, so you think this is like retirement money? This is like, that's it. Who cares? So you're telling me they're gonna get the big payouts from Sony's, whatever those individual payouts may be. They're gonna hopefully launch, or they're hoping to launch Marathon, pull residual and bonuses from Marathon, and retire. And then what? Just leave it to whoever's still left at Bungie to figure out how to sustain Destiny, Marathon, and Gummy Bears? That sounds like a nightmare. Now, someone in the middle of all this, as a longtime player and Destiny reporter, it's difficult to imagine a happy ending here, at least in the short term. The current state of the game is not set up to make The Final Shape some sort of huge blockbuster success that is going to save everything and turn things around, even if it is good. Then, given that it is concluding chapter for the Light and Darkness saga, there will likely be huge player drop-off after that as Destiny moves into disconnected episodes. Now, I see what Paul's saying, but the devs at Bungie, the ones who are, literally working on Destiny every single day, at least from what I've seen, they seem quite motivated to continue making more Destiny. It kind of does come down to The Final Shape. Like, what if The Final Shape rolls out? It surpasses the level of Forsaken. I know you guys are gonna say I'm in pure copium right now, but what if it surpasses the level of Forsaken? And it's the greatest expansion Bungie has ever given us. And subsequently, the narrative sets things up so well that we enter another saga that's even beyond the Light and Darkness. And we kind of see from the collector's edition, with the precursor race and all that stuff. We watched that video from Bife, which is a fantastic video. There is things in the Destiny universe that has yet to be explored. We still have the Vex that we have to deal with. We still have the 9, which are just kind of like, they're just chilling, watching everything. And then, the discovery of what we know about the witness and, you know, which factions it was in that precursor race, all that stuff. I think there's a lot of richness in the narrative that they could bring great episodic content to us. Now, whether or not we're going to get annual expansions, I don't know. Then from June, Final Shapes released to Marathon coming out in some unspecified time in 2025. That's a lengthy period. Plus, there are no guarantees Marathon is a hit in a competitive market. News also is made in this article that it may be moving to a hero shooter model has been poorly received. Yeah, so again, originally Marathon was going to be, well, actually, I think originally Marathon was going to be a single, like kind of its first iteration back when it came out in the 90s, right? And then suddenly it was like, whoa, it's going to be an extraction shooter now. Then we heard the rumors that that was not being received well from the small summit. Granted, we'll leave it at that. It wasn't received well from what I heard, but whatever. And now it's going to be a hero shooter based on the Marathon universe, which is really odd to me, because if there was ever a moment for Bungie to make a hero shooter, I would think the Destiny universe would be fantastic. Imagine a hero shooter where you play as Shaxx, or you play as Saladin, or Ikora. You know, you have so many characters you could run with in the Destiny universe for a hero shooter. All right, now long term, if Bungie leadership leaves and better leadership within the company or through Sony takes over, things can improve. But it's going to be a rough 1 to 2 years almost for sure, given where things are now and where they are looking to be going. All right, again, this is coming off the back of yesterday's article right here, guys, about Bungie replaces Marathon director amid leadership shakeup, that being Christopher Barrett being replaced by Joe Ziegler. What's so interesting is, like, Christopher Barrett, they had that whole stream last year for Marathon, and it was the reveal trailer and the streams afterward, and there was a lot of hype there for Marathon. And Christopher Barrett is very much the face of that game. Some have said that Christopher Barrett is like arguably one of the most creative people, game directors, incubators that Bungie has ever had. Again, I have no way to confirm that other than some of the sources I've talked to. So having Christopher move off of that project is concerning. The question is that I have is, where's Christopher Barrett now? The copium in me is like, all right, is Christopher Barrett now working on Destiny 3? I don't know. I don't know. I'm speculating with all of you. We have contacts. IGN, I'm sure Paul has talked to people as well. There's concern that more layoffs are going to happen. And you got to understand, the reason why more layoffs is terrible is, yes, if Bungie leadership wants to just be literally the worst pieces of shit on earth, they will continue laying off people so that they stay within whatever revenue threshold they need to be in to maintain, I guess, control of Bungie until they ship out Marathon, right? And obviously, if we were to take this article as truth here from Rebecca and from Paul, that's a big concern for Bungie leadership, is to get Marathon out the door, to cash in on that before making their exit in 2026. My concern is that they're going to cannibalize the company. We'll see, guys. As far as this article goes, it is concerning. Nothing makes a lot of sense. I don't really know why leadership at Bungie is going to be leaving in droves of 2026, or even how that information even got, you know, is that just purely speculation? Who even says that out loud? Who in Bungie leadership is like, yeah, so listen, yeah, I'm bouncing 2 years from now. I'm going to get my money. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Moving to Cancun. Already got a place picked out. Hell yeah. No, I'm not saying that this is not, I'm not saying that this isn't true. I'm asking though, who's the guy? Who's the guy? And look, there's been a lot of people that have left Bungie, and some of them are higher up. One of them is Joe. You know, maybe Joe saw the writing on the wall and was like, look, damn, I don't like to talk about any of this. It's too depressing. This is too depressing.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.